Hello, and welcome to PoliticOly episode 9. It is May 17th, 2020. My name is Stuart Reed, and I am your host. So I'm just doing a short show today. I took last week off due to some health issues, back pain I was dealing with. Didn't have a show together. And this week I just have a short show for you, but I wanted to just at least do a little bit of an update and keep the thing rolling. And so I really appreciate everyone's support and um, and so I really appreciate everyone liking the videos, subscribing on YouTube and Twitch. If you are watching on Facebook, that is awesome. Facebook is so far my highest amount of viewership. And even if you want to continue watching on Facebook, though, it really helps me out if you still go over to the YouTube and subscribe on there as well. That just helps me to grow my YouTube channel, and any comments or anything like that you leave on the YouTube channel just helps me to grow that and reach new viewers as well. And same as Twitch, as well, of course, as well. I started recently a Patreon page, patreon.com/PoliticOly, as I reported in the last show a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if I want to continue doing that or not. I'm wondering if that is something that is a good use of time and people's resources at this time. So I don't know whether I should continue or not. So if you want to give me an opinion on that, should I continue doing the Patreon, or should I just get rid of that and don't worry about that for now? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to support the show, you can check that out, patreon.com/PoliticOly. I don't have a lot of stuff on there yet, but if I decide to continue with that, then that would be a place where you could find things like extra content, full interviews, things like that that don't make it into the main show. So let me know what you think about that, and if you subscribe on there, I would highly appreciate it. It just goes to add up to getting some new equipment for the show. I was able to get just recently this mic, and that was due to my first couple of patrons and a birthday gift from my grandma-in-law, Linda Sailing. So thank you to Grandma Linda, and to James and Paul, my patrons, and anyone else who signs up on Patreon. And that'll just allow me to continue to improve the quality of the show. As I said, this just came in, so I hope the audio is working properly today. Let me know in the comments if the audio sounds good, or if it's too quiet or too loud or what. Brand new mic, and I haven't really tested it and experimented with the mic yet, so I'd love to hear some feedback on that, and hopefully I'll get that tuned in and dialed in to the right settings, and continue to improve the audio quality. And hopefully, if folks are able to contribute on the Patreon, then I'll be able to get a higher quality webcam and other improvements to the show as well. So, but anyway, I want to move on and dedicate this show to my grandma, Joanne Reed, who passed away this week at the age of 93. She was a big influence on my life. She was a matriarch of the family in many ways. When I was a kid, she got me to attend marine biology summer camps and visit wildlife sanctuaries. She made sure I saw Kennedy Space Center, and she brought us searching for shark teeth on the Shark Teeth Beach in Florida. A lot of good memories like that. And especially one memory in particular I'll just share. One morning, early in the morning, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, she got me up and brought me out with her, volunteering for Mote Marine Laboratory. This was in Sarasota, Florida. She was on a crew that would go out and look for sea turtles' nests in front of the boardwalk pathways at big resorts and condo buildings and tourist places, places where there would be a lot of foot traffic, so it wouldn't be safe for those turtle eggs. And if they were far enough away from the main walkway, they would mark the nests with posts and tape and such so it wouldn't get stepped on. And people would give it some distance. And if it was right next to the boardwalks where it was in danger of getting crushed, they would dig those up and go hatch them in the laboratory and then go release them in the wild after they hatched. And so on this particular morning, it was one of those releases. And so we went out onto the beach early morning with buckets full of baby sea turtles. It was a bright moonlit beach, right? Because they go out and they follow the moonlight out into the water. Just a beautiful, beautiful morning. And I'll never forget how beautiful they were, the baby turtles. They felt so strong in my hands. And that experience was a blessing for me. And I wanted to be a marine biologist for a long time. And I still care deeply for the oceans and marine life. And part of that is just growing up in the Pacific Northwest and from my mom and other, sources and influences. But part of that is from my grandma and the experiences she made sure I was able to have as a kid. So, she gave a lot of people a lot of little gifts like that in life, whether as a music teacher or volunteering for wildlife sanctuaries or helping people at Devereaux Behavioral Health Center. She passed away peacefully in her sleep with family around her, and I'm grateful for that blessing as well. It hurts that I couldn't go see her as she faded away, and it hurts that I can't go see my family now and be there for a memorial so we can all grieve together. But I'm grateful that she was not alone, and I feel solidarity with everyone in a similar circumstance right now. There are a lot of people dealing with not being able to see people that they love. Some because of the shutdown, some because of restricted travel, some because of, there are many reasons, poverty, inequality, some because of living in occupied territories or places like Gaza are under siege and restricted. There are many families that are struggling alone right now, so I just send love and healing thoughts to all of them, and rest in peace to my grandma. And so that's part of why this show is just a short show this week. I didn't really have anything prepared ahead of time in terms of links and pictures and everything. But I just wanted to pop on anyway and dedicate the show to my grandma, and I do want to talk about a couple of things, so we'll get into that. Another thing that happened because I had to cancel last week's show is we lost the interview I was going to do with Mary Ellen Biggerstaff, who's running for Washington State House LD22. And so hopefully I'll be able to reschedule that. And I had a Zoom issue with Rory Summerson. He had some advice for me. I just haven't been able to get that all sorted out yet. But anyway, basically the short end is hopefully what my plan is come back next couple of weeks with some of these issues sorted out, with some new interviews scheduled, some new topics, and some things more content to share with everyone. So stay tuned, and I'll be coming back with new and improved shows over the next few weeks, and I'll get that interview with Mary Ellen Biggerstaff rescheduled. Hi to everyone who's tuning in. How is everyone doing? Love to hear from you in the comments. Say hi. Let me know how you're doing. And also let me know what you would like to hear from on the show over the next couple of weeks. What's going on politically that is really interesting to you? What do you want to know more about? Who do you want to hear an interview with? What kind of information would you like to know about the candidates? And things like that. So let me know in the comments. I want to do a brief update on the Joshua Collins campaign for U.S. House Representative District 10 here in Washington. He's been running for a long time now as a Democrat. He's been going to Democrat meetings and looking for their endorsements. However, what the Dems do is they pick their candidates out of their circle of insiders and they try to clear the field for their chosen candidate. So they don't tend to like grassroots candidates like Joshua Collins, who legitimately grew a campaign from scratch by interacting with the public and pushing cutting-edge policy and through solidarity with local, national, and international movements such as labor organizing. Collins is running as an unapologetic socialist, as someone who's looking for the best policy and not just the most politically expedient policy. And for that reason, we all knew from the start the Dems would pick someone from their pre-approved list of candidates and try to steamroll in to fill Denny Heck's seat. Heck has held the seat for many years and only stepped down to run for lieutenant governor. I assume he probably wants to run for governor in the future. The Dem machine is not going to just let a seat like that, a stronghold of liberal capitalist Democrat power, go to a radical young socialist. So it's not surprising the Dems had a candidate, and it's not surprising they don't support Collins. Until recently, however, Collins was still running as a Democrat. For the past couple of weeks, Joshua has been posting messages to social media that hint towards a coming break with the Dem Party. He had been talking with Shama Sawant and Socialist Alternative, so I sort of assumed he would run as Socialist Alternative. Just a couple of days ago, though, he announced that he's running on an Essential Workers Party platform. I've never heard of that, so let's take a look at that together. I'll come back in future episodes with more information about the Essential Workers Party. But in this episode, I just wanted to talk briefly, summarizing some of the drama going on around the Collins campaign lately. He had an interview with some major publication, I think it was called Business Insider or something, and then he had a social media break for a couple days where he apparently deactivated his Twitter account. And then the author of that piece basically wrote some kind of negative article about how Collins just took people's donations and disappeared. That's not what happened, but there are a lot of liberals who hate Collins on social media who all jumped at the opportunity to smear him and try to bury his campaign. Collins just came back out with the announcement about leaving the Dems and running as Essential Workers Party. And so the liberals are just trying to control the narrative here. They absolutely do not want any momentum to build around this new party, the Collins campaign, or the movement to replace the Dems with a left party in general. They go for all kinds of underhanded tactics to maintain their power. And I think all this recent fuss about Collins is just part of that campaign against him, which is really a campaign against all of us trying to gain worker power in a democracy. That said, I encourage everyone to check out joshua2020.com. That's what's up on the page here now. He has a ton of really interesting policy on there that's worth reading through, and sign up, as a supporter if you do. The liberals want to divide and conquer, as always, and so that when it comes down to the general election, there's really no choice, and you just have to support the liberal. That's their narrative, and so they do not want, and this is an open primary, and so what you have is a situation where it could be a Democrat and a Republican that win and face off in the general election, or it could be the top Democrat and Joshua Collins, for example, if they get the top two. And so the Democrats want to make sure that not only does their candidate win, they also want to make sure that any potential challenger on the left doesn't get to second place. They would rather face off against a Republican in the general election. And so they are going to put extra care into the effort to kill any kind of real leftist campaign. And that's what this is really all about. So the liberals are still highly favored to win this election. Their candidate is still highly favored here in this district in 2020. It's all stacked against, someone like Collins. It's all stacked for the Liberal candidate who's pre-selected. And so it's a major uphill battle. But because of Collins' strength on his solidarity-based organizing and his large online presence and his excellent use of social media and TikTok and Twitter in particular, and so Collins really does have a legitimate chance to do something different here in 2020. And so that's why they're putting all this extra effort against him, when normally they would just dismiss someone like this and just keep steamrolling ahead. And so it's really important that we use this opportunity to rally support behind Joshua Collins and show that leaving the Democratic Party and running as a third party, in this case, Essential Workers Party, but really this goes for anyone who is willing to step outside of the paradigm of must run as Dem. Anyone willing to do that and run third party, we need to really support them, so it goes to show when people are looking back on it that that is something that is a possibility that they can do. And so when the Democrats come around and say, well, you only have a chance if you play our game and you do our tricks and you play by our rules. Otherwise, you're toast. And we want to be able to reply to them and say, actually, what happens is people leave the Democratic Party, they reach out to a broader base of support in society at large, and they actually gain support, and they can have a legitimate chance at winning in Washington State. And that's what we want to prove, and so that's what it's really important to support Joshua Collins, even if he doesn't win, for that reason, but also because of his style of campaigning, of solidarity campaigning. What he's building is not just a run for a particular seat in 2020. Joshua Collins is really running to build something new, a new coalescing of leftist organizing power and connections and coalitions in this district. And that's something that lasts. And so let's support that and support Joshua. So I just wanted to take a little bit to say that and just kind of clarify my position on Joshua Collins. Anybody that's just canceling Joshua Collins because he deactivated his Twitter for a day or whatever, like, that's ridiculous. That's just that's not a comrade of ours to begin with, And if they were only supporting Joshua Collins if he ran as a Democrat, then that's just, whatever. Like, we need to do what we need to do. We can't just keep running as Democrats when they won't support us, even when we do, even when we play by all their rules. If we're not on their pre-selected list of candidates, and we don't say their pre-selected list of things that they want to hear from you, that you're toast. And so we gotta break out of the paradigm, and Joshua Collins is doing a great job of that. So wanted to highlight that this week. Thank you, Joshua, for your work, and good luck to you. So anyway, that wraps up my episode for today. I really just wanted to do a short episode and just to check in and stay connected. So sorry if you were tuned in live and there were some connection issues, and so I've just put this all together in the replay here that you're watching on YouTube. So thanks for tuning back in here, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube so that you can catch these replays, because when I'm doing these shows live, there may be issues that come up, and the replay later on YouTube is going to have all that stuff edited out. So that's a good way to catch up if you maybe only catch part of the show live or anything like that, and you want to just watch the whole thing. Go check out the YouTube and subscribe on there. So appreciate everyone's support on my post about my grandma. I've gotten a lot of really heartfelt messages from folks, so thank you for that. And I hope you all are well. And again, I will be back next week with a new energy for PoliticOly. So stay tuned. All right, have a good one, y'all. Peace.